Hi guys, and welcome back to another ITH video, and welcome to the facelift R8. So here it is, what is believed to be the last normally aspirated Audi R8. Is that a good or a bad thing? Please do comment below. I'd love to know your thoughts. First, let's have a look at the styling. The R8 was originally launched in 2006, and even though I still think the original R8 looks quite futuristic, now we jump into 2020 with this, the facelift version, and it has this updated front end. But some would say that it's a bit sad that Audi have once again given us some fake vents. We have some here underneath the Audi badge, there's one there by the light, there's one down there by the side of the grille, and there's one at the side as well. Now, for me, it makes no difference. This is the styling of the car. Audi spend a lot of time in the wind tunnel, and I honestly believe that if they were open this up and open that up and open that up, I don't really understand where it's going to go and what real positivity it's going to have on the car. If it was going to have some, they would have made it a vent. You still get the same side profile as the original R8, but as you can imagine, this is a brand new car. And I've got to say, this lower vent, the larger one, does actually cool the engine, so that one's working at least. You can also spec these side panels as carbon fiber, which I think looks absolutely stunning as well. Now, I love the front of the new facelift R8, but I have to say the back is my favorite. You get this beautiful view of the V10 engine just nestled underneath that lovely piece of glass, where you've got these vents that just slightly rise up, and I just think it looks absolutely amazing. As you come down, you get this incredible carbon rear spoiler, and as we come down even further, the all-important R8 badge with these huge vents at the rear, which you can look straight into the piping for the exhaust work, which just looks amazing. And talking of exhaust, you get the oval exhaust as you'd expect with any of the Audi RS cars, and those fins along the back to just help with the aero. I think the back of the new R8 is just absolutely stunning. So welcome to the interior of the latest R8, and I have to say, always been a big fan of Audi interiors. They just know how to do it. And the first thing that greets you when you sit in these really nice bucket seats is this incredible multifunction steering wheel. You've got everything you need on here. You've also got a volume control, which I absolutely love on a steering wheel. Engine start stop button, love that on the steering wheel. Drive select, you've also got this checkered flag, which I'll talk about when we take it for a drive, and a few options to change what's on the virtual cockpit in front of you. As we come down to the center console, you've got these climate control buttons in front of you, and I think they're really cool. I love the design of these. They're so lovely, and the way that they work and push and feel, I think is fantastic. You've got the heated seat buttons just to the left and right of that. As we come down then, just underneath that, somewhere to pop your phone. It'll also wirelessly charge down there, 12 volt, also 2 USB slots, and an auxiliary in there as well. As we come down into the center console itself then, a couple of buttons up here, hazards. You've also got your parking on and off for the alarm on that. You've also got the gear lever that you'd find in a lot of Audis, and somewhere to pop the R8 key, which I quite like. Some cars you get in these days with the keyless go, there's actually nowhere to put the key. And then here in the middle, this is, I suppose you could call the command center. This is a touchpad on the top of this wheel, so you can basically draw the letters for your postcode, which is pretty awesome if you're going to navigate somewhere. And then you've got the parking brake here as well. And as we come down into the armrest, you've got two buttons either side. You can push either of them and it opens this little flap here, which goes all the way back, and you've got two rather small cup holders. You'd get a small bottle of water in there, or maybe even a espresso. I did think that if you push it down, you could lift the whole thing out, but no, it is literally just this little bit of space here. As we mentioned with the space, you do get this area just behind these two bucket seats, which I've actually found myself using quite a lot, just for rucksacks and a few smaller bags instead of having to open up the front boot and pop them in there. You've also got a CD player here, a couple of SD card slots, and somewhere to pop your SIM card if you want to use the onboard telephone. So I wanted to tell you what kind of flavours this R8 comes in if you are in the market for one, because a lot of manufacturers now are starting to bundle options together and giving you a package to just buy. The base model is the V10 RWD, that is the rear wheel drive R8, which I bet is a load of fun. That's the base model, it comes in at £115,000. One up from that, you get the V10 Quattro, so all wheel drive, that comes in at £130,000. The V10 Performance Quattro, which we're currently in now, so you get the spoiler on the back, which looks wicked, that's £143,000. And then the all singing, all dancing V10 Performance Carbon Black, that basically comes with loads more carbon fibre, and that's at the top at £156,000. But what is this R8 really like to drive? Oh, and it rips your sunglasses off your head. So just before we do all the fun stuff that you just saw a little montage of, first of all, let's just talk about what this is like to drive as a daily car, because Audi want this to be a usable supercar. It's a car that you can park outside of McDonald's and feel safe with it being there. It's a car that you can do your shopping in, maybe not a monthly shop, but definitely a few essentials from the shop. It's a car that you should be able to use every day, and it is. It's exactly that. If you want a car that you can use every day that also has over 600 horsepower, this is the one for you. Is it really the supercar that we want? Is it too much of a daily driver that actually it doesn't provide you the excitement and the thrill that you want from spending over £150,000? Well, let's find out. Well, it'll do over 200 miles an hour. As I said, more than 600 horsepower, 611 horsepower, and it does 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. But personally, I think Audi might be lying about that figure. And thanks to the guys at BOTB.com, they have 2 dream car winners every single week as part of their dream car competition and midweek car competition. There are over 180 cars in the lineup, including the Audi R8 V10. You could also be winning £20,000 in cash. Enter now, and you never know, you might just be next week's winner. The most amazing thing about this car is the fact that it's 4-wheel drive. And the grip you get is just unbelievable. I have so much confidence in driving this. Around any roundabout, any corner you throw it at, it literally just keeps gripping, 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 and then it just lets go just enough for it to say, I will hurt you if I want to. It's not only the handling that I absolutely love in this car, and the cameraman next to me is going to hate this, but it's also the brakes. These have got 6-pot calipers, and I tell you what, the braking performance with ceramic brakes are just unbelievable. Now you might think I'm being a little bit far-fetched with this next comment, but this feels like driving a rally car. You've got all that power and you've got all that grip as well. Honestly, this R8 feels like it would be at home on gravel as it would here on the tarmac. There is one thing I don't really like about it though, and that's the fact that you can spec dynamic steering. Now, personally for me, I've driven one without and one with. It doesn't feel quite as good with dynamic steering. I think Audi just need to work on that ever so slightly. It just feels still a little bit false, a little bit fake. And it doesn't quite give you the readout from the road that you'd expect from a car of this caliber. And it's a bit of a shame because everything else is near enough bang on. When it comes down to driving modes, what have we got? Well, I'm just happy that we don't have 1,000,001 different settings that you can find in some supercars these days. So let's hit the drive select button. We've got comfort, which does what it says on the tin. Automatic, which again, just kind of adapts to the way you're driving. You've then got dynamic, which is nearly its most hardcore mode. And then also individual, where you can set the car up to as you please with the different differential settings and the way the car drives. So I've just slowed down to show you this next bit. There is one other driving mode, and it's this checkered flag down here. Hit that, and you're straight into performance. Now, you've got 3 settings in performance mode. You've got snow, wet, and obviously, as we are today, dry. Stick it in dry, put your foot down. Oh, and it rips your sunglasses off your head. You get all the horsepower in performance mode, and it just tightens the car up so much more than you'd even get in something like having it in auto. Everything about this car then just comes alive. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde car. You've got it in comfort mode, and that's more than enough just to get you to the shops and back with maybe a little bit of drama on the way. But if you really want some fun, the checkered flag button is your friend. Now, it's quite a clever differential that Audi have got on the R8, and it can distribute power where it thinks it needs it best. So if you whack your foot down, foot to the floor, it might send most of that 611 horsepower to the rear wheels. And then when it thinks it needs it, it will bring it forward into the front wheels to give you that grip out of the corners. I know we've mentioned the interior before, but I think it's really cool how when you've got all the sports displays on and you're driving it quite hard, you can see how much percentage power and torque you're using, and also all the information about your tyres, temperature, and also the pressure as well. It just kind of gives you that feeling that you are really in something quite special. And the great thing about this being an Audi is you could do this all day long and it wouldn't get tired of it. So how good is it really? How good is the latest Audi R8 V10 performance? Well, for £143,000, you'd hope it'd be pretty good. Well, I've got good news. It is. It's very good. I feel like you kind of get two cars in one with this. You get the car that you're quite happy just to poodle down to the shops and pick up a little bit of shopping and then have a little bit of fun on the way back. And then if you wanted to, you could take this thing to a track day and have the best day of your life and then just drive it home again. So all good on that front. There are a couple of things I think that kind of have lost a bit of passion. The noise has definitely just come down a little bit thanks to emissions, but we still do get that normally aspirated engine, and I do feel like the driving position just needs to be a little bit lower. I felt quite high up in the car. Now, this is something that you could buy and drive every single day if you want, so I think that probably justifies the rather large price tag. But thanks to the guys at botb.com, they of course have this car in the lineup. You could win a brand new Audi R8. Please do check out the link below. You only have to be 17 or older to enter. Guys, of course, as always, we'll be back with more content right here on the ITX channel very soon. But from me and everyone here at the ITX channel, bye for now. As soon as you push the checker flag, we're into performance mode. And then when you mash your foot to the floor, nothing happens. It's because I had it in manual. Oh, you can, it'll only do it in manual.
Oh, will it? Okay.
Yeah, so performance mode is